Hello and welcome to the dress-up game, aka D4. Basically just gonna run through just a couple of thoughts I had on the game to begin with. Oh my god, some of this stuff, man. But yeah, so overall, is it an enjoyable experience? Yeah, like, I definitely, 2300, Jesus Christ. First should make her happy and then she'll give us a free discount. But yeah. Free discount. I mean, yeah, I gotta pay for it anyway. Anyway, what was I going for? Right. So, the game overall, I'd say is fun. Like, if you want to give it a try, you know, that's it's definitely an enjoyable experience. There are some ifs, or not ifs. There are some buts, ifs, ands, or buts. For not necessarily why I wouldn't recommend it, but like why I would give it a lower score, and we'll get to the score at the end of this. So first of all, the stamina management, it's, I don't know, man. I don't feel like there's a point to it. I don't really know why it exists, if you will. I mean, does it work in the game itself? Sort of. There is this weird theme of like being obsessed with food, so you know, from that point of view, I suppose it does make sense. But having actions be limited by stamina when the whole— oh my god, what is going on? But the whole idea is that you know, you get to examine everything in the scene, you get to look around, you learn all kinds of nonsense. It seems like a useless step, if you will, right? You're like, I'm gonna examine all of it anyway, so oh, damn, that's some skill right there. I'm gonna do it anyway, so like, why limit my ability to examine it with food, which I have to go and get, and every scene is just chock full of food, and if not, you can always go to Teddy and talk to him and he'll feed you, so...
Is that for me?
And you know, at the end of it, I feel like the stamina bit, just, it doesn't really add anything, right? So, there's no... Case number 6, complete Beck and Kitten. Alright, so there's no real need to have it in the game. It doesn't give you anything. So then if we go on from there, I kind of feel like the vision is also sort of useless. I mean, I guess it's there to help out if you want to like find something that you can't find, right? In that scenario, I suppose, like if you're having a hard time getting through the game, then sure, vision would be a useful thing to have. But, and again, I'm not saying that just because I had no problem that you won't have a problem either, but like, I never did have a problem getting through the game without using vision. I used it once, I want to say, just out of curiosity to see how it worked. And like, other than that, we never really had a real use for it. And it has 10 uses, man, like 10. The hell do you need 10 uses of vision for? Like, again, there's always items in like every scene that replenish it. Like, I get the idea of giving you some kind of out if you're having a hard time, but like, I don't know, maybe limited to 3 or 2 uses. Don't make the items that replenish it as easily found. So it does feel like it's an out, you know, in case you're having a real hard time. But again, there's no real point when you have a hard time in the game. It's always pretty doable. So yeah, I don't know, what else is here? The whole costumes thing, man, like, you know, if that's interesting for you, that's cool, but there's just so many of them. It's not like 1 or 2, I swear to god, like, every scene you get 4, 5, 8 costumes, and it's just like, do we really need that many? But again, that's me really being nitpicky. You know, if you enjoy costumes, and you enjoy costumes, then it's not really a thing against the game, it's just me confused why we need so many, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But, yeah, other than that, you know, I can't really fault the controls. They're kind of annoying too. Oh, look at this. Mini Mandal. Huh. Right, anyway, I can't really fault the game necessarily for that, since it was made from Kinect, or on Kinect, so, you know, I want to say that, that point is null and void. Oh, this is that game. Wonderful. Yeah, I guess we can also point to this, not this specific game, but actually the game as well. The Clover thing, it's, I don't know, again, if it would have been just like 10 or 20, it's just like, here, just do something so we can progress the story. Like, I get that. Like, the action sequences, you know, they're fun, they're fine. They allow you to progress the story, they give you some interaction, that's cool. The Clover thing is like, it's, why are you here, man? First of all, I feel like there's too much of it, and again, it doesn't, I don't know if it really adds anything to the game. Again, it could be different if I was playing on Connect. I might be going like, holy shit, look at all these fucking clovers I can catch with my hand. But on PC, A, it's easy as shit, and B, it just doesn't feel like there's a real need for it. And last of all, this dude. Dog. I don't know why anybody would ever think that putting a man who can speak very slowly and like takes forever to get through a sentence is a good idea in like in a game like this, because it ultimately kills the flow of the game, you know what I mean? You just sit there and you listen to them slowly get through things. Like, in no scenario is that ever a good idea to force the player to go extremely slow and listen to dialogue. On the other hand, you can like opt not to listen to the dialogue, but then, you know, why are you playing the game? It's the whole point of it. Interact with characters, talk to characters, investigate shit. It's like, you know, that's the game. So like putting or gimping yourself with a very slow talking character in something as important as, you know, or in something where that's such an important thing, it just seems like a very strange design choice, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, so like other than that, overall, and I guess the last point I could have against it is that, you know, we're never going to see the continuation of it, but I'm not sure if that's something that I can necessarily fault the game for, you know? If something didn't work out on the business end of that, then, you know, oh well, I mean, I can be mad about it, right? But I can't really do anything about it, so me being bad about it doesn't really help out at all. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, my thoughts on the game. Controls are a bit wonky, but expected. Kinda sad there's no ending, and some questionable design choices, but overall, the story itself, I feel like, is pretty solid. Again, not that we're going to be able to see it all the way through, so judging it purely off of the initial couple of bits, I guess, isn't exactly the best way to do it, but even for the prologue and start of the storyline, I feel like it's definitely interesting enough to keep me hooked. I'll just put it that way. And if, you know, more of it ever did come out, I would absolutely love to see it. So yeah, overall, probably if I had to put a number on it, using the scale what's provided somewhere on the somewhere on my channel page, probably sit it at a 7.5. It's got a couple of quirks or design choices or whatever you want to call it that I'd say keep it from being exactly solid, but the story definitely helps it come out on top. I'll tell you that much. It's weird, it's goofy, it's fun, it's everything that you could possibly ever want, you know, from a weird story. But yeah, so other than that, I don't really have any more thoughts to share with you. I just want to get to this next bonus and finish up this. Oh, you totally can lose. I guess there you go. Now we know. But yeah, so yeah, 7.5 is pretty much where I sit it, and it was enjoyable. If someone were to ask me if they wanted to play it, and should they play it, yeah, I'd definitely give them a big old thumbs up, with the caveat that it's gonna be weird, and not like a bad caveat. Just be aware that it'll be weird, and yeah, that's it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see each other for whatever comes next after this. Goodbye.